Hi, I'm Adam from Temples. I play the guitar and the keyboards and sing backing vocals live.
Hi, I'm Tom from Temples. I play bass guitar, keyboards with my feet and sing backing vocals live.
Hi, I'm James from Temples and I play guitar and sing.
I'm Renz from Temples and I'm a drum.
They were fantastic, yeah. People were singing the words back to us, and they probably, they got all the lyrics right from the looks of it.
Very surreal, I suppose, in a way, but then also at the same time you feel very at home here. It's, the welcome is so warm and the response is so kind and supportive. It's very warming.
That was good. I mean, we had everything broke on stage, but it didn't matter because the audience were just crazy. We walked out on stage thinking, who's going to be here, and it was just packed. But yeah, I remember microphones being facing the wrong way and stuff like that on guitar amps, so wondering why you can't hear it,
Depends on the gig, I think. Like over here where the crowd's so it doesn't matter as much because you're just sort of feeding off of the energy of the crowd. But if it was a gig where there wasn't many people and they didn't look very interested and the technical things were happening as well, it would just be a panic-stricken. We've never done that, but maybe we should do.
I think there was a big storm that day as well. So act of God. I mean, they're just a group which is nice to listen to, and very much from that German contingency of, krautrock and folk, and people like Neu and Faust and Can. Yeah, but it's very expansive music, which is sort of interesting, and a lot of atmosphere created. So I think that's something we kind of tune in with.
I think maybe it's always happening, I think there's been bands like that since its inception, but it just comes out in public a bit, maybe every 10 years or so. But I think there's always bands that play that type of music. Just depends on whether there's an audience or not.
I think we anything that we'd learned technically, we maybe left behind and actually just thought about the integrity of each sound. There's no gimmicks on this record really. There's less layers, it's a bit more, it's such a cliche, but it's just a bit more organic. We didn't want to overcomplicate things on this record. It was pop, but it was complicated. And it was, a lot of the songs were impossible to do live with four of us. Whereas this album is doable live, Probably a label thing.
It was a heavenly thing.
Yeah. I think at that time they were friends of Richard's and Daryl's, and we had one. It started with one remix, one song, and then it spurred on. I don't actually remember us sitting down and going, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's have the whole album remix." I don't remember us talking about it, but I remember us hearing it for the first time. It's a good album. I don't think we'd do it now. I don't think we'd let that happen. But it turned out really well, and I think it gave Sunstructures a second sort of wind as well of energy, because maybe people hadn't heard it, and then they heard Sun Restructured, and they're like, "Oh right, that's based off this," I actually had it where I went to get my car fixed somewhere, and somebody was like, "Oh, do you play in a band or whatever?" And then said, "Yeah, Temples." And then they put a track on in the background. They're like, "Oh, God, it's really chilled out." And I was like, "This is off Restructured. This isn't our album." We didn't. It's a bit confusing, to be honest. But that's the only time that's happened. But yeah, it was strange. It's like, that is not the song.
We've always sort of dressed like this before we're in the band as well, so maybe it's not really a conscious thing, and we're obviously fans of that type of music, so it's just, you probably play around with stuff more than anyone, like with clothes, and you do your own clothes and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, just, I don't know, I guess you go through phases of liking certain things, but similar with music really. It just sort of follows suit, I think, with what you're listening to, and you kind of are inspired by it as much as the music in some ways. It's still always very much us, I think. Like,
Yeah.
can't imagine us doing anything
And sweatpants.
distracted.
So I prefer the Mexican audience.
Yeah.
It's true, and I'm not just because we're here. You know, it's nice to play to an audience that's really sort of receptive and reactive. When we're in an audience and watching a band, we probably just stand still and keep quiet. So it's like it doesn't matter if people are doing that either. So hard to choose.
You introduced me to Kevin Ayers.
Kevin Ayers,
It's really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
really into that now. It's great.
yeah.
Pow, yeah. Pow, P-A-U-W. Dutch band. You heard of that?
Yeah.
They're good though. They've got a really good drummer.
There's a new artist called Art Deco who I really like. Released an album called Trespass.
Did he?
Yeah. And yeah, he's from Vancouver. It's interesting, dark, murky, noisy, but melodic.
If you're saying Trespass by Art Deco, I'll say Trespass by Genesis.
Just this.
Thank you.
Converse.